All right, so we bring in a segment calling the good or the bad. So we had roughly over 60 games to watch some of these guys. So
We back at the NBA. Yeah, I thought this was gonna be college related.
what I want y'all to do is tell me the good that you love about these guys and what's the bad and what you would love to see them improve on going forward. The number one guy is Scottie Barnes.
Scottie. I did a little segment where I was answering questions, and somebody asked me. We always talk about offensive systems in the NBA, the Lukas, the Shays, the Jokic, the people that are offensive systems. We never talk about defensive systems. And we brought up like Rudy Gobert or Victor Wembanyama. And the third name that the person that asked me said is like Scottie Barnes. I was like, I don't know if Scottie Barnes is a defensive system by himself, but he's pretty close to it.
Yeah.
So the thing that I love about Scottie Barnes is that defense. Is how he's so rangy. You never really know what his assignment is going to be on a nightly basis, but whatever it is, you can expect it to be an A to A plus production. So defense, baby.
What I love about Scottie Barnes is I remember this is a little bit more earlier in the season, but I still think some of this applies. He can play with so many different people. When they were having a crazy run of success, and you will go through the lineups and the different successes, he was a part of almost every successful lineup. There was questions of him, R.J. Barrett, and Ingram, all of that meshing up together. Him and CMB, some people felt was redundant. But like some of the best Grady Dick lineups earlier on in the season, and Jacoby Walter, they were with Scottie Barnes, and Brandon Ingram was still able to have success with Scottie Barnes, and R.J. Barrett, and Emmanuel Quick. So I think it's something about being the best player that can give your franchise the comfort of going out and getting different type of players without feeling like it can't. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I feel the same way. Like it's hard not to love the defense. I feel like he can legit take some people kind of like out of the game, like individually, just to kind of nitpick. And again, he's one of those players. Not saying he's a perfect player, but it's hard to kind of take away from him. And it goes to Pete's point where just like you feel so comfortable with him kind of playing with anybody, and that's just because he can fill so many roles. I would just like for him to be a little bit more, I guess, assertive sometimes. Like I think that he can take a little bit more of the control of the game offensively. Just seeing him do that more.
So that's the bad for you?
Yeah, but again, it's a bad, bad pick. It's
I don't know who all Derek has, but we're talking about an all-star right here. Right?
Yeah.
So like he obviously, but if we had to pick a bad, I think that his handle is good, but I think in order for him to be like a perennial all-NBA guy, his handle has to get better. Mm-hmm. Again, we're talking nitpicking. That's like the biggest nitpick you can have because he's a 6'7" to 6'8" power forward. Like you don't expect him to have a handle like, Allen Iverson or Kyrie Irving. But I think that part of his game could definitely get fleshed out a little bit more, and that'll make him better on the offense side of the ball in the half court if he was just, a little less loose with the ball.
Yeah. Next guy we got is Brandon Miller.
B. Mills. I love that there's no shot that is too difficult for Brandon Miller. And sometimes that could be a negative, right? There's some players in the league that you say that same thing and you look and say, oh my God, he shoots this percentage. But Brandon Miller is one of those guys that can take a really tough shot, but like you have the confidence that it's going to go in regardless. So shout out to B. Mills.
The only bad thing was prior to this year, or I guess the early part of this year too, is just the injury. Mm-hmm. Just wanted to see him be healthy. I love Brandon Miller's game. I'm happy to see the success that he's been able to have with the Hornets. I was a big advocate of them drafting him and not Scoot.
Yeah.
And so to see him fit in with his team so beautifully makes me happy. And I believe outside of Victor Wembanyama, he was I was a little biased, but he was my favorite prospect just because he played for Nate Oates at Alabama. And then when we had him on our show, and he told us Paul George is his GOAT. Yeah. I was like, oh, look at my boy. So, yeah.
I think his youth, as far as like a lot of the guys come in super thin framed. I don't think he needs to bulk up like Giannis, obviously, but just like a little extra muscle would help him get past defenders a little bit easier.
Yeah, I think to add on to that too, I was just looking at it. He's such a good scorer. I think he's got to kind of find a knack to get to the line a little bit more. He's only averaging like 3.5 to 4 free throws. He shoots 90%. Mm-hmm. So you would like him to get more. I think if he adds the muscle, you get to the rim a little bit more. And again, you have so many good shooters like a LaMelo and a Khan to be able to get to the rim and kind of just build on the offense and just build on how like teams just have to guard everything. Him getting to the rim would be a lot. it would help him.
Now, if he doubled his free throws, they're going to be calling him a foul baiter then.
Hey, I don't be calling people that, man. Where you got to earn them free throws. There was a time in my basketball career where I was trying to get to the line every time I was trying to drive to the rim.
Yeah, I've seen starfish on the court before.
Yeah, it didn't work out too well for me.
With the winning that the Hornets are experiencing too, I would love to see him take on being a two-way. Like, really follow Paul George's footsteps. You know what I'm saying?
Guard the other team's best player.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
It would just help their course so much if he could.
Yeah.
Because some of them games, you're like, oh, this is their assignment. And they've been doing good, obviously.
Yeah.
But, yeah, if he was able to step up and do that, my goodness.
Deni Avdija.
Deni is so stiff. I think he's the first person I started off with the negative. He's such a stiff ball player, man. And I don't know how to explain it other than when you just watch, everything is so straight lined and it's effective to an extent in the 82-game season. I think we had the conversation of like, how does this look in the postseason or whatever, but he's a very stiff player.
Yeah. I feel like I'm going to go to a bad too, but it's just like, I want to see, because he's had such a really good season. I do think that like when the team is fully healthy, I don't know if he'll be the number one featured guy. So I just want to kind of see how he's able to adjust his game back into more of like, maybe I'm the second, maybe I'm the third, and still be just as impactful. We all know he can kind of like, he came up doing all the little things and stuff like that. So I'm going to see how he kind of adjusts to the role back when this team is really fully healthy.
The good is getting to the foul line, whether they like it or not. Easy points on every possession.
I think the good is he's been.
I mean, that's part of his straight line.
Yeah,
He just goes straight through his defender.
Yep.
I think the other good is just he was able to run point guard for the team for a lot. I mean, when Drew Holiday missed time, they just had a lot of people miss time. He was the guy that kind of ran the offense. I'm talking about score the ball, pass the ball, dissect the defense. Like, he was doing a lot for that.
Stop talking to the refs.
Yeah.
What if he said no?
Next thing we got is Evan Mobley.
The good is obviously he's not in that system conversation just yet, but he's still one of the premier defensive guys in the NBA. So that's always going to be a good. And I think the bad is the opposite side, right? Not that it's not bad in what it is. It's bad in our expectations as far as like we hope that he one day would be a 20-point per game scorer, and that's not really part of his game in year 5 of his career or so. And some of that has to do with the aggression. Some of that has to do with him, getting switches and not maximizing them when he has a smaller defender. And some of it is just him like floating is the way I would describe him offensively a lot of the times, just floating while the other guys do a lot of the heavy lifting.
I think Evan Mobley's a good player. I think there's a lot to like and love. I think regardless of whatever he's going to do, he has to show up in the playoffs. And I'm not here to say he doesn't show up, but there's been some injuries. There's been a lack of success for the Cavaliers team as a whole. And I think if they are able to get over a hump, a lot of this stuff wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Regardless of how aggressive he is or how many points he scores per game, if he just was him and it worked, then I think we would just accept it and he would be a champion or in the finals or whatever. But I think because they have expectations, they haven't been able to meet them. Some series he was in, some series he wasn't in. Sometimes, like KB said, he's floating. He's been Defensive Player of the Year. The teams he's on are pretty stacked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, this is a time to do it because before you know it, he's going to be in a position where he is going to have to, carry a burden. If this team can't win, then I don't know what other teams he's going to be on that's going to have these type of opportunities.
Yeah.
So
Milwaukee.
I think it really comes down to the aggression against the bigger front courts, like the Pistons. Sometimes it could be the Spurs, and that's a long time in the playoffs for you to get to the Spurs. But it's the aggression against the bigger front courts where you can kind of see them. Hey, I might take 6 threes this game because they clogging up that paint. And I think from an every night basis, it's just so much easier for Evan Mobley kind of dominate in the paint or near the restricted area. Sometimes teams can hold him out from that, and for a guy that's the second or third best player, you got to be there every night. It's just the best teams do it. It's a nightly basis where I can depend on you to have your 15 to 20 points.
Yeah, they got a lot right. I mean, when they first started the James Harden era, I was like, oh my goodness. And now that's cooled down completely.
Yeah.
Where it's like, man, they might still just be the 4th best team in the conference still. And obviously Jared Allen has been in and out of the lineup over the last couple weeks or so. But yeah, that first week I was like, oh man, I'm close to picking them to win the East. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. That changed real fast.
You just said that because JT came back.
That does matter.
That's all. That's the only reason he changed his mind.
They kind of look unstoppable. Not unstoppable. They look great.
Hit subscribe for more news, highlights, and analysis from the NBA on NBC.